In this video, we will outline the paint gun flushing process. A pre-flush and a full flush is done in between coats of paint, while just the full flush is done at the beginning of the workday. Flushing removes any paint residue that may be left in the hose or gun nozzle. The personal protective equipment required for this is a respirator mask, latex gloves, a paint suit, and safety glasses. The two entrance doors should not be open at the same time while the paint room vent is on, as it will cause a sharp change in air pressure. To set up the paint gun, we will use MEK fluid to flush out excess paint from the paint gun. MEK is also known as methyl ethyl ketone. It's used as a solvent for many polymers and is a common ingredient in paints. Since it's a solvent, it's able to dissolve other substances. However, MEK is also highly volatile and flammable, so it should always be attached to the floor. After making sure the paint room is cleaned, turn on the paint room vent located to the left of the second entrance door. Begin by removing the paint gun attachments. Then, open the fluid flow control knob completely and turn off the air pressure. Spray the gun into the beaker used for mixing the paint until the gun spits. This removes some excess paint from the tank. Turn off the pressure on the tank and take off the pressure tank lid. Remove the pressure tank liner and empty the contents of it into an empty beaker or the beaker previously used to mix the paint. Insert a clean, dry liner in the pressure tank. Pour a small amount of MEK into the tank through a filter. This is called a pre-flush, and it clears out larger bits of paint left in the hose. Again, the pre-flush is only done after painting, not at the beginning of the day. Clamp the pressure tank shut and set the pressure to about 10 pounds per square inch. Spray the gun into the beaker used to hold the excess paint for about 10 seconds. There is still a large amount of paint left in the hose. For the remaining MEK, spray the gun into the empty tank liner until it mists. This prevents paint from drying to the sides of the liner. Turn off the tank pressure and take off the lid. Pour the remaining MEK into the used paint tank liner. Reinsert the liner into the tank. We will now perform the actual flush to remove all remaining paint from the hose. Using a filter, pour the remaining MEK into the tank liner through a filter. Clamp the pressure tank shut and set the pressure to about 10 pounds per square inch. Spray the gun into the used paint tank liner for a few seconds. The remaining liquid in the tank is primarily MEK, so we can spray it into the MEK bucket. Rock the tank as needed to spray as much liquid as possible from the gun. Once the gun mists for about 10 seconds, tilt the tank away from you to collect all of the remaining MEK. As the gun mists again, point it into the paint chamber. This is done to dry the line. Spray the gun while it mists for about 60 seconds. To test if there is still liquid coming from the gun, point it at the ground. If the tape or paper on the ground is getting wet, there is still MEK coming from the gun. Remove the tank lid and pour most of the MEK back into the MEK bucket. Using the excess MEK and a small scrub brush, clean off the paint gun attachments. Dry them with the air hose. Pour the remaining liquid into the first paint tank liner. This liquid will go into the MEK waste bin in the mixing room. Dip a clean cloth into the MEK and use it to clean off all areas of the paint gun. This prevents buildup and maintains the quality of parts produced. Replace the lid on the MEK bucket and tidy the paint room as needed. This concludes the paint gun flushing process.